What is up, boys? It is Yarrow Wins, and Happy New Year to all of you. And yeah, we're getting started in 2021 with a new formation and custom tactics guide video. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at one of the most popular formations, one of the most balanced and most playable and fun formations, and that is the 4-1-2-1-2. So getting right into it, I will explain why this particular system is probably the most balanced and the best overall formation and system that you can use, and for most teams. If you watch my latest video, the 3-5-2, that is also a very fun and effective system, but it is quite risky. I mean, not everyone likes to have sort of 3 centre backs or 3 defenders, and I found that if you want the most balanced and the most stable formation, it is currently the 4-1-2-1-2. So without further ado, we get into the defensive style. So for this particular system, I've gone back to the pressure and heavy touch. Personally, although sort of a balanced approach is generally good enough, with this particular formation and system and the players that I have and that I'm using, I found that it's a lot easier and a lot more fun to play sort of a high press tactic, and because I've got basically a multitude of attacking options rather than defensive options, so I'm only playing one out and out CDM and the rest are sort of attacking players. I found that if you're going to be doing something similar, you're going to want to basically press the opponent as quickly as possible, win the ball back, because obviously you don't want to be conceding a lot of possession and having to sort of win it back with attacking players because they don't have the tackling stats to actually do that. So yeah, I mean, I've experimented a bit, tested it out, and yeah, I found that it's quite effective, and well, it's a very fun system, but yeah, it's actually very effective, and surprisingly so, in terms of not having that much defensive cover in the midfield, but still being able to sort of dominate in most areas of the game. So as I say, in terms of the width for the defensive style, I found that if I'm more compressed, so I'm covering all the spaces and basically blocking those passing lanes in the middle of the pitch, with having attacking players and not really defensive CDMs, I found that having like a narrower width is more effective, because it basically, as I say, closes down those spaces, and you don't necessarily even then need defensive midfielders who can sort of tackle, because just having the bodies in there will be enough in most cases, and you can basically stop the opponent going through the middle. Then they're forced to go out wide, and then basically your fullbacks can cover that off, and also your CDM can basically help out when possible. In terms of the depth, we've gone slightly above balanced, and that sort of ties in again with what I'm saying about trying to win the ball back as quickly as possible, as high up pitch as possible, and just getting on the attacking side of the game. Now for the offensive style, I've gone with balanced because, again, I've been experimenting and testing different styles out. I found that balance is probably the best for this particular formation, this particular system, because I mean the name itself is pretty much the giveaway. It is the most balanced. It gives you various different options, so you're not basically just going to be playing one type of style, one type of offensive style, or a way of basically attacking. So you don't want to be too predictable, and balance, I think, brings the best of all worlds really. So you can obviously get in behind with long balls, or you can play a possession game. It's really up to you. So yeah, I think balanced is the way to go for the offensive style. Now for the offensive width, I would recommend leaving it on balanced, because again, that gives you just the best sort of range of options. So if you have natural players that go out wide, for example, my left and right central midfielder, because they're sort of attacking players, they tend to drift wide anyway, but having them in the middle is also very good, because they sort of make forward runs, as you'll see in the instructions in a minute, and they give the extra attacking threat. Although I would say I'm basically using a more risky version of this particular system, because I'm using untradables and I don't actually have a CDM that I can use, or a second CDM I can use, because of chemistry reasons. And yeah, I'm just trying to basically play as attacking a team as possible, but for you I'd recommend having an extra CDM or someone that can actually defend a lot better. But you will see in the clips how I played and basically how it was for me. Now, players in the box, again, have this quite high, so above balanced. For me, this is sort of more logical because I have more attacking players, whereas for you, maybe leave that sort of one bar less. And then corners and free kicks, as always, doesn't really matter. It's really up to you and how you play the set pieces. Now, moving on to the instructions. So for both your strikers, well, for Erling Haaland, because he is like the physical player and he's a bit stiff sometimes, I want him to be sort of the target man, so stay central, but also use his pace, so getting behind and stay forward. Interceptions on default. Second striker, the more agile one, getting behind, stay forward, but balance width, so it basically allows him to sometimes drift wide, and basically because he's not as stiff, he's more agile, he can basically go out wide, dribble, create openings and create space for that main central striker in Haaland. For my cam, get into the box, free roam. You could have it on basic defensive support if you want the player to get back and help sometimes in defense, but I found that that really drains stamina, so I'd probably suggest leaving that on stay forward. Then your CDM, cut passing lanes, stay back, cover wing, and then the two central midfielders on the sort of wide ones, so on the sides. I'll say get forward, get into the box, cover wing. So for both of those. But as I mentioned, if you can, then have one of these players be a defensive player, because that will basically help you out and it'll be more solid. And yeah, as I say, I'm just using this right now because it just fits into my chemistry. Then obviously the fullbacks, just stay back while attacking. Mixed attack, although you could also experiment with overlap, because obviously you have already a lot of that support in the middle. You don't really need them coming into basically the middle of the pitch. You want them overlapping and basically giving that width, putting those crosses in the box if you so wish to. And yeah, the final real instruction, again, this is kind of optional, but I changed this. So for the goalkeeper, come for crosses and sweep at keeper. So yeah guys, that is basically my 4-1-2-1-2 system. As always, let's get into the clips and see how effective this system really is. So guys, as we get into the actual gameplay footage, I'm going to show and explain to you guys why the high press is so effective and basically the transition from defense to attack. Like in this particular clip, you can see I start from my goalkeeper, a few quick passes, I get into sort of a one-on-one situation, and just straight away pretty much the first attack and a great finish. And again, that kind of translates into playing obviously with a lot of attacking players and playing the high pressure tactic. You're going to basically transition from defense very, very quickly, and it's going to be very hard to defend against. Again, in this particular case, I don't score from the original shot, but you can see all of the pressure that I'm putting on. Again, my right back goes past the halfway line, wins the ball back. A lot of quick passes, I'm putting the defense under immense pressure. Again, I even slide tackle his defender, block that, cover off the passing lane, again sort of cover off the passing lane, intercept, quick passes, and yeah, basically the opponent doesn't know what to do, and again a great finish. And yeah, just having so many attacking players in the team, yes, sometimes, as I say, you'd probably be a bit better off with having like a second defense CDM, but having all these attackers, it just gives you the extra options to basically attack, and it's just a lot more dangerous. Again, this is another type of gameplay style or passing style that I would recommend, is the quick one touch, basically 1-2s. So trigger those manual runs, don't take too many touches, and yeah, basically just do these quick short passes. And for example here, like I lose the ball, but because of the high press, my centre back is aggressive, he wins it back straight away. Again, these quick 1-2s, a little bit of close control dribbling, pass the ball out wide, trigger that manual run with the right centre mid, and then obviously they get into the box and it's a great finish. And that is a tactic as well that I found is very effective, triggering those wide runs from the sort of the wide central midfielders, because they're obviously attackers. And then finally we really just get into these replays of the highlights of some of these goals, and we can see in sort of from different angles how particular sort of areas of the game are effective. Like you can see in there, I win the ball with my centre back straight to my CDM. He just puts a straight through ball through the middle of the defence. It's a straight one-on-one, and it's an easy finish. Then for the second goal, again, my left back is sort of aggressively high up the pitch. I think it's after a corner. Again, putting the pressure on, getting it straight into the box, and then it's a good finish. And once again, my right back, almost sort of on the edge of the box, wins the ball back, passes it in there, and then it's another great finish. And then you can see all of the players inside the opponent's box. It's what, 5 or 6 attacking players that I have, and it just really overwhelms the defenses. Then again, you can see the pressure of the attackers going forward. They basically force the defensive side to basically worry about who I'm going to pass to, and that allows me to get more space. And then once again, that's a replay of that last goal that I showed. And yeah, just widening the pitch, and that is why I actually said to play sort of a wider offensive tactic. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it. I think you should experiment with it on your own, see how it works for you, try it with a second CDM. But yeah guys, I think this is the best and most balanced formation you can use right now. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, obviously drop a like, drop a comment, and subscribe if you're new. And I'll catch you very soon guys for the next video. Peace.